Hey guys, my name is Jeremy Crow. I'm the owner of JC Strength and Conditioning, as you can see. So, I'm here today to talk to you about flexibility and mobility. Okay, so in this first video, we're going to deal strictly with flexibility, okay? Stretching. There are many reasons we should stretch, and there are many reasons we should not stretch, okay? And I'm going to be very brief here so we can get to the exercises. If you have an injury, that's who I'm speaking to right now. If you have an injury, let's say your low back is tight, you do not need to stretch that. Your back is going into a spasm, and because it's going into a spasm, it's locking up and it's not allowing you to move. That is called protection. It's protecting you from you, okay? But if you try to override that with stretching, eventually you will be able to stretch your way through it, and eventually you'll just get hurt. Okay, so if you have tightness because of an injury, do not stretch that, okay? If you have pulled a muscle in your quadricep, okay, it's one of the muscles we're gonna go over today. If you pulled a muscle in your quadricep, that means that muscle was over lengthened. Why would we want to stretch or lengthen an over lengthened muscle? Okay, it doesn't make sense to do that. So if you have an injury, please do not stretch your way through an injury, okay? If you are tight because you sit down a lot during the day, this is for you. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll have all my information. You'll see it. You probably already saw it on the screen already. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, let's go over some lower body stretches, okay? So the first one we're gonna hit is the quadricep, okay? Remember, before you work out, your warm-up is better to be a dynamic warm-up, okay? Skip, jumping jacks, walk on a treadmill, ride a bike, elliptical, things like that, okay? Do some mobility exercises, which you're gonna see in a little bit here. Stretching should be done post-workout, okay? Your muscles are warm, they're more pliable, they actually feel better when you stretch them when they're warm, okay? I learned in school, always stretch a cold muscle that you want to tear. We don't want to tear any muscles, so let's don't stretch any cold muscles. All right, so the quadricep, okay? So I see people doing quadricep stretches all the time. I see people standing up and they'll grab and they'll pull here and they get that big arch in their back and they feel like they're stretching their quadricep when they do it. They may be stretching a little bit, but they're not being nearly as effective as they could. So what you want to do is, so instead of having the arch, you want to pull your pelvis up, okay? So, but if we're gonna stretch our quad and we want to be effective, the best way to do it is on the ground, okay? Because it's really hard to cheat stretches on the ground. So here's the first one. Quadricep. Here, I'm gonna be keeping my bottom leg, I'm gonna keep it straight, okay? I'm gonna keep it bent. It's sitting right here on the floor, nice and bent. Take this top leg and I'm just gonna pull it behind me here, but it's gonna go straight in line with my body, okay? So it looks like this, okay? Notice it's not way back here, okay? And I'm gonna do that, a lot of maneuvering here, while I keep this one here flexed. And the reason I'm keeping this flexed is this keeps my pelvis up, all right? This means that I can get a bigger stretch on my quadricep doing it this way than if I were to stand up and pull it and I go through hyperextension in my low back. I'm not really doing much for my quadricep at that point, all right? So I'm just pulling here, and you may notice that you don't have as big of a range of motion when you do it this way, all right? Well, that's a problem, but work through it. All right, I love this quadricep stretch. This is one that I do a lot after I've done a lot of squats. This is not for the faint of heart, so be very careful when you do this one. All right, you're gonna have something, you want something underneath your knee. So I've got a knee pad under my knee right now. You're gonna have a ball, you can use a chair, it doesn't matter, just anything that can actually slide or roll, okay, it'd be great. All right, you're gonna have the other leg up just like this in front of you. The ball sitting right here, or the chair sitting right here. You're gonna grab the top of the ankle of this one here. You're gonna slowly but surely, when I say pull your pelvis up, here, okay? You don't want to be arched, you want to be here. So the pelvis comes up, and when you do that, the front of this down leg should be turned on and contracted. you should feel your butt muscle turn on. So we're here, I'm gonna pull up, and I'm just gonna slowly rock back and forth, okay? I'm not doing anything, if you notice, look how small the movement is, okay? When I go forward, I can feel a huge stretch in my quadricep, okay? This is one of my favorites. All right, guys, so hamstrings. Hamstrings are kind of tricky, okay? There's, a lot of people will judge it based off whether they can touch their toes or not, okay? So, when you're gonna touch your toes, a lot of people will do it just like this. And look how rounded my back is, okay? But also look at how my butt has not moved, okay? Well, when you touch your toes, you should actually push your butt back. Look how flat my back is. My knees are actually soft. They're not straight, they're not locked, but they're also not squatted and bent either. They're just soft, okay? And from here, I come up. When I come up, my hips shoot forward, and that's what extends me, okay? Hips are extenders. So right here, hip hinging, up, hips come forward. So how can we practice that? You can use a broom, go to Lowe's and spend $4 on a PVC pipe, get one that's roughly about 60 inches, make sure it's kind of thick so it doesn't bend, okay? If not, use a broom. You're a golfer, use your driver. So right here, have you can see it here on my back here, touching my head. And you can see my bottom hand here, my back of my arm or fist is being pushed into the top of my butt. I'm gonna maintain those two contacts, and I'm just gonna bend forward, just like this. Like how flat this is. If I didn't do this correctly, this is what it would look like, okay? We don't want that, right here. And what I would do is, I would do probably 10 of those, and I'd hold each one about 5 seconds. All right, guys, we're gonna do a hamstring stretch now, okay? So, hamstrings, muscle right back here, okay? Under the leg here, behind the leg here, okay? I want you to sit tall, just like this, with your hands behind you supporting you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your toes back towards you, okay? Make sure you pull your toes back, okay? Don't let them relax. Pull them back and keep them back. Take your right hand, put it over here to the side. Take your left hand and let's reach across toward our toes, okay? Keep your toes pulled back. Come back up, hand behind you, reach across. Come back up. Now, people ask, how long should I hold the stretch? Not nearly as long as you think, okay? Holding a stretch for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minute stretches, those actually do more damage to the muscle, and the muscle usually tightens up afterwards. I'd say the longest I would hold a stretch would be maybe 30 seconds. In my mobility class, when we do stretching, we usually hold it maybe 15 seconds at the longest. It doesn't have to be a long time, okay? You can make up for the lack of quantity and time and just doing more volume, okay? So you can actually do more here, hold it 10 to 15 seconds, come over here and do the same thing, and you can do like 5 of these each way, so count to 10, okay? So 1, 2, and hold it 10 to 15 seconds each. Okay, so let's do one more stretch from the hamstring. This one's a dynamic one, okay? So this one you're actually moving. One leg goes in front of you, the heel comes up like so. You're gonna slide down your leg like a ski slope, and you're gonna jump off, okay? Here, slide down, and you're gonna jump off. Keep your toes pulled up the whole time, and you'll feel this in your calf, and you'll feel this in your hamstring, okay? That's a dynamic one.